Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of James Bond Bitcoin Live. 00102, hashtag unconfirmed. And there's a lot of things that are being unconfirmed, including my transaction. Anyways, let's go over the note section real quick. Might as well just tell you what the date is, supposedly. November 14th, 2017. So in the note section, I still have, can Bitcoin be replaced via multiple hard forks? James Bond interview on CrushTheStreet, published November 9th. Actual interview, I think, was November 7th. So just to give you an idea, the time frame of that interview. Also in the notes section is collect your free Bitcoin Gold BTG coins with Coinomi. That's a link to the Coinomi support, and that'll give you step-by-step directions on how to split your Bitcoin if you had Bitcoin, well, how you split your Bitcoin Gold if you had Bitcoin on Coinomi. There's also other links that will help you split your Bitcoin if you didn't have any Bitcoin, or split your Bitcoin Gold if you didn't have any Bitcoin on your Coinomi. One of the ways is to import your recovery seed, maybe from, I don't know, the many other different wallets out there. You can import it, split it, and then send out your Bitcoin Gold that way if you want to. And then also, I haven't done it yet, but you can also sweep your private key from a Bitcoin wallet or paper wallet and into a Bitcoin Gold wallet on Coinomi. I haven't done that yet. I haven't done anything yet other than split it. The link, there's also a link underneath that. How to split Bitcoin Gold BTG01. That's the video that I did tutorial. Real simple, easy. Coinomi, multi-altcoin cryptocurrency. Probably one of the easiest too of all the wallets that I've had. I mostly use Bitcoin, but when it comes to multi-currency, all the altcoins, I use Coinomi. Then I have a link for Bitcoin Gold, the website itself. Go ahead, check it out. And then I have all the potential hard forks. Bitcoin Silver. I haven't been there in a while. The last time I checked, a lot of people don't like it. A lot of Bitcoiners, I would say, don't like hard forks. But apparently a lot of hard forks are being pushed onto all the Bitcoin users. I have a "It's time to stop" meme. Love that meme. Link to Bitcoin Platinum and Bitcoin Uranium. So I leave those links on there just to give you an idea of how an altcoin or a fork of Bitcoin, a scam coin, how they all start. You should see the history of it, how it gets started. Also in the notes section, I have list of airdrops. Last update, October 29th. That's the last time I was there, or the last time I copied that link. I'm sure it updates every day, and those are for people who love to get free money falling from the sky. I also have a link to SegWit Charts. I keep saying I'm going to go over it, and I keep forgetting. And I'll just keep on saying I'll go over it today, and most likely I'll forget as well. CoinCodex. If you're tired of looking at all those BitConnect ads on coinmarketcap.com, I know I am, so I use CoinCodex. I also use LivecoinWatch. There's a link for that in the notes section as well. I like it. It's a live feed, and it gives me a 7-day average of the gains or losses, so I can gauge how profitable it really was to have my Bitcoin or Bitcoin Gold or Bitcoin Cash. Supposedly there's a Bitcoin Classic. Boy, uh, you know, I wouldn't normally talk about these altcoins, but because the fact that I have Bitcoin with these basically hard forks of Bitcoin, I essentially get free airdrops. I essentially get the coins. So I kind of have to talk about it a little bit because there could be a chance that one of these forks may overtake Bitcoin. Matter of fact, if you go to the interview I had on Crush the Street, I mentioned that. I was asked, is there a chance that there could be another coin that replaced Bitcoin? And and I said yes. The only coin that can replace Bitcoin is Bitcoin, a fork of Bitcoin. Ironically, that's the only thing that has a chance to replace Bitcoin. Anyways, let me continue on here. Also in the notes section is CoinGecko. That's another listing platform. Really enjoy that one because it gives you an index of developer participation as well as community participation. And Bitcoin by far has the highest ranking of all the coins. Matter of fact, Bitcoin Cash is ranked, I think, 61%. So maybe Bitcoin Cash should spend some money on CoinGecko and get that ranking a little bit higher. Also in the notes section is bitinfocharts.com. I really like using that website. It looks a little clunky, but it's also a listing platform. But it also has the hash rate. It has a lot of stuff, and I'll go over that as well. Some interesting things going on with the hash rate. This is kind of new, Transaction Accelerator, and I put that up there just because of the so many unconfirmed transactions in the mempool. Not that I would ever use it, and I'll go over it real quick. I think anything, any tool, any website that helps, if it helps you get your transactions confirmed, so be it, even though it's from via BTC. But I'll go over the website real quick. It's also a sender, so you can broadcast your transaction on this website as well. You can also sign and verify messages. So I think there's some useful things about the website. There's some useful tools. And then, of course, Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash hash rate historical chart 6-month. And that's from bitinfocharts.com. I have a link to that if you ever want to see what the comparison is. All right, so now I'm getting to the meat of the show. UK threatens to shut down popular Bitcoin investment site BitConnect. Yes, BitConnect. That one, that BitConnect. So there's an article. I'll go over that. And there's some tweets. Skive was kind enough to share these tweets. He said he couldn't make a video today, so he gave me the links so I can share them with all of you. Some of it comes from, it looks like Alan Silbert. Another one comes from Crypto, Omar Bam, and then Andreas Antonopoulos. They're all talking about BitConnect. Now you're probably saying, wow, are they into BitConnect too? No, they're not into BitConnect. Sorry, guys. But I'll go over their tweets, and maybe it's the end of BitConnect. I mean, BitConnect's life is coming to an end here. Okay, so next thing I'm going to talk about is Morgan Stanley predicts 2018 plunge in GPU mining cells. So I'll talk about that. That comes from CoinDesk. The hot topic of today, and I'm sure all of you have heard or already know by now, China Bitcoin crackdown to extend to low-cost mining ban report. This is from Crypto Coins News. Ironically, we have a conflicting report that says the opposite. Chinese power provider denies Bitcoin mining ban. This is from CoinDesk. So what do you do when you have two conflicting reports about the same subject? Is there a ban on mining in China? Or is there not a ban in mining in China? Well, I'll go over it real quick, give you my take. And then next is in the notes section, Bitcoin 2x. Is it or is it not? I don't know. And I give you some links to a follow-up to the Bitcoin 2x. And that's the Bitcoin 2x reply from the mailing list from BitPaco, who says that basically they will abandon their ideas, and considering maybe what's going on in China could be the reason why SegWit 2x was called off. Maybe that the I wouldn't say banning, but cutting off the electricity supply to the mining farms could have been the reason why SegWit 2x was called off. Maybe there might be something to it. Of course, there's also a link to it. Mysterious group BitPaco threatens to execute Bitcoin hard fork. And then the first reply to the mailing list from Bitcoin Paco was saying that they will continue with the hard fork after it's been called off by 6 industry leaders. Anyways, just I'm still leaving that in there until we get some confirmed. Until we get some confirmations here. But everything is still unconfirmed. Why has ICO Index labeled BitConnect as an outright fraud? I leave that in there for all those BitConnectors out there, or people who are considering using BitConnect, or people who have come to my channel and for some reason you see somebody advertising for a BitConnect on my channel. You should read this before you do any investing into BitConnect. Notice regarding high yield coins on top of BitConnect. What is BitConnect and why have we decided to distance ourselves from it? Now, I've already talked about all this, but I leave this in the notes section for the audience members. And of course, James Bond Bitcoin Live 0017. I did an interview with 3 BitConnectors. And apparently, I didn't know this, but McDonald's is a Ponzi. The stock market's a Ponzi. Social Security is a Ponzi. Your grocery store is a Ponzi. That's the mind of a BitConnector. And Crypto Blood was also in that show, and he was just a regular guest. And you could tell he's normal, and everybody else is out of their minds, because Crypto Blood is the one that said that you all are in a Ponzi. Get out while you can. Oh goodness. All right, and I got the video for the video theme for this video. One Punch Man, dubbed in English, so you don't have to read while you're watching. Kind of really distracting. Episode 1. Now, if you don't know what One Punch Man is, it's a really funny Japanese, I guess you can call it anime. I would call it a cartoon, but it's, cartoons are for kids. Anime are for adults. So enjoy the first episode of One Punch Man. And then if you know the the anime series of One Punch Man, then I'm sure you'll enjoy One Punch Man Funny Moments, English dubbed. That way you don't have to read while you're watching. You can just watch and listen. And those are the two video themes for this video. And of course, I have hashtag yes2x70. I'm still going to label these memes as hashtag yes2x until November 15th, 16th, 17th, until I'm pretty sure there is no more SegWit 2x hard fork. Then I'll name them something else. I'll start naming them forks or memes, or I don't know, maybe I'll just keep continuing to use hashtag yes2x. All right, then I also have a link to the Bitcoin pot of gold. The pot of gold donational address is also in the notes section. It is a SegWit address. Please donate to the Bitcoin pot of gold so that everybody else can try to crack the passcode or figure out the remaining 24-word recovery seed. I think it's back up to $40. Bitcoin price has gone up. And so I've already given away clues to the four words, the first 4 words of the recovery seed, the 24-word recovery seed. If I get some donations in there to push the price of the pot of gold to $50, I'll give away the 5th clue to the 5th word of the 24-word recovery seed. And of course, I have links to other YouTubers: Rojashive, Space Odyssey Network, Skive, Yes for Motivation, Bitcoin Coffee, and the 21 Million Club. Please go to their channel, subscribe to them, watch their videos, leave comments, like them, dislike them, troll them, whatever you want. But have fun while you're doing it, at least. All right. So let's see who's all in the live chat. Let's see here. Who's all in the live chat? Sky was here earlier. I think he left. He's an old man. He can't stay up that late. So looks like Carlos. Carlos, how you doing? Thanks for giving me the heads up about the Chinese mining ban. Appreciate it. Dual overhead camness. Good to see you. Skyve, you are here. Great. And Yellow Fever for you. How you doing? Nice talking to you today. Me and Yellow Fever, we're like best friends. We're like peanut butter and jelly. He keeps calling me every day. And then Fud Machine, how you doing? Excellent. David Genesis Love, first time I've seen you here. Welcome to the channel. And David L. Good to see you here. Welcome to the channel. XQBJQ Bro. Welcome. Marty Wilkinson, how you doing? Your transaction's still unconfirmed. And I'll be going over that today. DD8209, good to see you again. Andre Barnwell, welcome to the channel and good to see you again. All right, let's go on to the meme here today. All right, so the meme here is still unconfirmed. And that's basically what's going on today. So, man, my transactions are unconfirmed. They're still unconfirmed. At least the transaction that went into the Bitcoin pot of gold anyway. I'll be talking about that. But there's also a lot of things that are unconfirmed. So what's unconfirmed as of now? Well, SegWit 2x is still unconfirmed. Not sure what's going on with that. The hashing rate Where did they go? I'm still coming up with 22% less hashing rate. Where is that? Where to go? And does it have to do anything with the possible SegWit 2x hard fork? Or does it have to do with the fact that the power supply to the Chinese miners are being cut off? About 22%, maybe 30%, who knows? But somewhere, I know for sure, at least 22% of the hashing rate has gone from the network. Where is it? It's all unconfirmed. Also, the fact that we're getting two conflicting reports from China on whether there is I wouldn't say mining ban, but how about a power ban? A power ban against the mining farms. So if you get two conflicting reports, which one do you listen to? So anyways, a lot of things unconfirmed. And then supposedly there's also another hard fork, Bitcoin Classic. I can't even say it right. Classic. Have to say it like I have to say it like Sean Connery. Oh, a lot of unconfirmed things going on. Anyway, let's go on to the first story here, or let's go on to actually, oh, bright screen. Sorry if I blinded anybody. Peter. All right. So Bitcoin pot of gold. So please donate to the Bitcoin pot of gold. And make it fun for everybody. The arrow, the QR code where the arrow is pointing to the pot of gold, that is the donational address. If you happen to have your wallet, your Bitcoin wallet with you right now while you're watching it on your computer, go ahead and scan it and send all. And then don't forget to add the highest priority fee so that way it can get in there. All right. QR code on the right is a encrypted private key. If you can figure out the passcode or the password, you could take all those Bitcoins that are in there right now. You could take that pot of gold. Or if you do go ahead and donate to the pot of gold in increments of $10, I give out a clue to the 24-word recovery seed. I've given out 4 clues. It's at $40 right now. I need someone to donate an extra $10 or many people to donate enough money or Bitcoin in there to get it up to 50. I can give you the 5th clue to the 5th word of the 24-word recovery seed. QR code on the bottom is a link to Yellow Fever for You. He's the one that gave me this idea. So thank you very much, Yellow Fever for You. OMAX, real crypto coverage. Welcome to the live stream. Good to see you. Anyways, good luck to you all. Hope you enjoy this little, I guess you'd call it treasure hunt, pot of gold. Usually I do I do a treasure hunt in each meme, but because of the extreme amount of transactions in the mempool and all the hard fork that I thought was going to go on in November, you know, the SegWit 2x, maybe Bitcoin Silver, maybe some other stuff. Apparently now there's this Bitcoin Classic. That's the way I got to say it that way. So sending your Bitcoins now, it's like really tough. I'm holding back on it. But once this nonsense is over with, I'll be hiding Bitcoins in my memes. And so hopefully you can extract the treasure hunts. But there's some past videos with the past memes that I have a link to that you can download that have treasure hunts in them. So give those a try. All right. Excellent. So let's go on. Oh, sorry about this. Caching. Okay. Oh gosh. Waiting for confirmation. Wow. So this is pretty much what most people are experiencing here. Waiting for confirmation. Hashtag yes to X. I don't know if you remember this meme, but I kind of wish that we would have had the hard fork or there was a definite answer on whether SegWit 2x would have happened. I would have been prepared, and it would have been interesting to see what would happen with a larger block size on SegWit if it could have absorbed all those transactions. That would have been interesting to see, but we'll never know. Maybe we'll never find out. All right, let's go on to article. Jeez. All right, not the article, but the actual transactions. So here we go. I'm going to refresh it, and it's still unconfirmed. Still unconfirmed. My gosh. When was this originally sent? The date has changed on it. It was originally sent on the 9th. So, oh my God. No, somebody actually donated. Oh, goodness. All right. So there it is. All right. Sorry about that. Someone actually donated $10 to the Bitcoin pot of gold. Thank you, whoever has done that. Wow. I thought, okay. So here's the one that Marty Wilkinson has donated to the pot of gold here. My gosh, I don't even know I wasn't expecting anybody to do that. They must have done that just right now. If you give me a second, I will get my, I'm gonna have to get the recovery seed and look up the fifth word. So I apologize. But first, let me talk about the unconfirmed transaction. This is done on the 9th, as you see right here. This is done on the 9th. And as you can tell, it's still unconfirmed. So that was done on the 9th. It is technically the 15th now. So 6 days. I got 6 days. Now, here's the thing. Well, hold on. Before I go on to my rant, let me go and get the recovery seed, and I'll give you the fifth clue to the recovery seed. Okay, I'll be right back. Hold on. You're gonna be hearing some dead air, but let me go back to this then. There we go. Look at this meme, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Thank you for waiting. Had to go through my through the fireproof safe. Let me see here. Yellow fever has contacted me while I'm doing my live stream, just to make things a little bit more complicated. So let's have a look here. Refresh. All right, there we go. Okay, so sorry for that. Who's all in here? All right. All right, so I gotta, looks like I gotta give out the 5th clue to the passcode. Sorry for that. Nope, want to go over that just yet. All right. All right, here we go. I had to go through my safe. I had to go through my fireproof box, and then I had to open up through a plastic bag to get to this recovery seed here. That's how safe it is. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that 5th word. Okay. Now I just have to give out the clue, not the actual word. All right, so here's the clue to the 5th word here. Coming up to it. This is quite a surprise for me, so I'm a little unprepared. All right, so here's a clue to the 5th word of the 24-word recovery seed. The standard of something as measured against other things of a similar kind. The degree of excellence of something. How's that? So if you can figure out what that is, what word that is the 5th word to the 24-word recovery seed. I'll repeat it one more time. The standard of something as measured against other things of a similar kind. The degree of excellence of something. There we go. All right. All right. So looks like yellow fever. Looks like yellow fever sent sent the donation. Thank you, yellow fever. Appreciate it. He was telling me that the fee was, he was gonna send $5, but the fee was so high he made it 10. I appreciate it. Thank you, yellow fever, for you. All right, so he sweetened the pot quite a bit. Thank you. All right, there you go. So now I got 2 unconfirmed transactions. So I want to talk about unconfirmed transactions and what does it mean? And so what it means is basically you can, if you know how to, if you have a wallet that allows you to send unconfirmed transactions, the way most wallets are set up and most of the nodes have been updated. Before you could spam the network with 0 fees, and then you could spam the network with sending literally a Satoshi. And so a lot has changed since then. I don't think you can send a Satoshi anymore. I think you have to send at least a certain amount. And then on top of that, I also think that there has to be some minimal fee depending on the transactions in the mempool or how busy it is. So some of the nodes and the software that's been updated from Bitcoin Core doesn't really allow you to just spam the network like you used to. And so that's changed quite a bit. But what you can do, and what I think you still can do depending on your wallet, is you can send unconfirmed transactions. So if you can send unconfirmed transactions to someone else, Now, if they're okay for receiving that Bitcoin as an unconfirmed transaction, you can continually just keep sending an unconfirmed transaction to everyone that you wanted to, as long as they're okay and then they accept it, and then they can actually send it out. And what happens is either it's a scenario where child pays for parent. If there's one person who pays when they send it, if they pay a very high fee, in order for that transaction to get into the block, all the previous transactions also have to be added into the block. And so it could be, all the transaction could be pulled into the block if one person sends a high enough fee, or if there's many unconfirmed transactions that are being sent, all those fees add up, and a miner could essentially look at all those fees and pull all those transactions into a block. And so does the fact that there's a lot of transactions in the mempool mean anything? Not necessarily, because technically you can still send unconfirmed transactions. Like if someone was to, let me go back here. So if someone was to scan this QR code on the right, scan the private key. So if you scan this private key and you cracked the code, and you were able to figure out the passcode to it, and you swept all those Bitcoins, even though it's unconfirmed here, you're gonna get all these Bitcoins. All right. And if I try to sweep that same key, even though your transaction's unconfirmed, but the fact that it does show up and it doesn't say it's double spent, that transaction will go through eventually, even though if I was to scan that same QR code and try to take that from you and add a higher fee, it would recognize that the wallet is empty. And so is this an issue? It's an issue for maybe merchant processors. It's an issue for merchants or businesses that accept Bitcoin. It's an issue for exchanges, because they need to know that this is not going to drop. Now, there is a chance that it could drop, but I've been experimenting with Coinbin and Bitcoin senders, and I've quote unquote tried to spam. If you're one of the very few people who are getting like 4 or 5 cents worth of Bitcoin, you know, I was sending it. I was experimenting with it, and some nodes that are not up to date will try to rebroadcast a double spent. Like I've tried to go below a certain amount or below a certain threshold that I think a lot of the nodes don't accept. But there's a lot of nodes that are older versions out there that will accept like 0 fees and and sending out satoshis for like 1 satoshi. But when I looked it up on different explorers, it showed as double spent. And eventually those transactions did drop. And the transactions that were first to get confirmed, they actually settled and finally went through. So unconfirmed transactions are a problem for a portion of the ecosystem, but on a peer-to-peer level, it may not be. If you're sending money to yourself, not a big deal. If you're just moving coins around to yourself, not a big deal. If you're paying someone who's willing to accept unconfirmed transactions, someone typically not a big deal. And so I think when we go and look at the transaction volume of Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, you can see that the majority of transactions are still done in Bitcoin. So I just want to talk about that real quick. But let's see how long this takes. Yellow Fever, for you, put in how much? You put in $1.54, Let me see. So you put in, wow, 225,000 Satoshis is what Yellow Fever put in for this. 100 Satoshis per byte. I'll go over, of course, I'm going to go over the mempool. I'll be going over the mempool. I'll be going over the fees. I'll be going over the mempool, and I'll also be going doing a chart analysis at the end here. But let me go through everything. So thanks for hanging in there, and thank you, Yellow Fever, for the donation. You made it. It's up to $50 now. Excellent. If it gets big enough, I might actually do an exit scam just to let you all know. All right. So this is, if your transactions are stuck, somebody a couple days ago mentioned this via BTC, the transaction accelerator. I've never used it. Supposedly this doesn't cost a thing, but there's a catch. There is a catch. It doesn't cost a thing. I think you're sending your transaction ID to via BTC, the mining pool, and then they will look at it, and essentially they'll try to add it into the block. If they do it, obviously they'll get the fee. But here's the catch. If you scroll down, how does transaction accelerator work? Oh, what's up, Richie Rich? How you doing? So how does a transaction accelerator work, right? Well, first of all, you have to have a transaction fee of at least, what is that? 100,000 Bitcoin. I mean, 1, 2, 3. There's 8. So 100,000 at least. Let me see what amount that he put. Okay. Yeah. So you have to put at least 100,000 Satoshis. Per kilobyte. I think that's the minimum fee. I think that's a lot anyway. I'm not sure if it's 1,000 Satoshis as a fee or 1,000, or I'm sorry, 100 Satoshis as a Bitcoin fee, or 100,000 Satoshis per byte. Anyways, the thing is, you have to have like minimum fee. It says right here of 0.0001 Bitcoin per kilobyte, or 100,000 Satoshis. So your fee already has to have 100,000 Satoshis. I think that says per kilobyte. So that's a high fee anyway. So if you already put a high fee on it and it's still stuck, then you could probably use this transaction accelerator. So that's the catch. So it already has to have a high fee. If you read the rest of this thing is just a shill for Bitcoin Unlimited. Why does it take? Some of this is very funny. Oh, my thing's stuck. Oh, my thing's stuck. If you click on some of these things, why does it take so long to confirm my transaction? It says that the core development team will not increase the block size. That's their answer for why your transactions are taking so long. Some of this stuff is total shilling for, or I mean, literally for Bitcoin Unlimited and against. Oh, it's 10,000 Satoshis per byte. Okay. Sorry about that. I thought I was off by 1 digit. I'm just off by 1 digit. If I made that mistake sending you Bitcoin, you all would be happy. All right. So anyways, but if you read this is all like shilling for Bitcoin Unlimited. Bitcoin Unlimited is not even around, and it's definitely against core. It does have some useful tools, however. There is a profit calculator. There is a profit calculator. So that's useful. It tells you the current mining difficulty here. Useful. it does broadcast your transaction. If you put a raw transaction in there, it will broadcast it for you. It's probably done on their nodes, of course. Hello, Patrick Duke Majan. Welcome to the channel. Hey, Chase that coin. Good to see you. And so it does have some useful tool. You can verify your signature as well. So you can verify your address, message, and signature, or somebody else's address, message, and signature. And you can verify that they control that wallet. So it's not that bad. It's not all that bad. But it is, of course, you know, shilling for, actually, here it is. Why is my transaction taking so long? Oh, okay, here we go. So why does it take so long to confirm my transaction? Here's their reply. When more people start to use Bitcoin, let me highlight it here. When more people start to use Bitcoin, the Bitcoin block size grows to the 1 megabyte limit. But Bitcoin core developers keep refusing to increase the block size for more people able to use Bitcoin. Horrible English on this thing. But anyways, there's your answer. You know, all this weird stuff. Here's an interesting. What should we do to solve the jam problem? Horrible English, but we should support Bitcoin Unlimited is not even around anymore, or whatever's left of it has become a part of Bitcoin Cash. We should support Bitcoin Unlimited, who has put into effect block scaling. Here is why we must increase the block size and why I should support Bitcoin Unlimited. So they got it highlighted. It's highlighted here. And so here's another one here. Let's close this one. How can I help? Check out our cloud mining contract. I mean, this is a joke here, right here. They want you to do some cloud mining. This is utter ridiculous, utter foolishness here. How can I help? Well, check out our cloud mining contracts. We are raising more funds and buying more hash rate to support Bitcoin Unlimited. Now it's going to be supporting Bitcoin Cash, but they're shilling their cloud mining contracts. So be a little bit careful. Don't read too much into these. This is obviously a little, I would say, a little propaganda. But if it does help your, if it does help to get your transactions through, I'm all for it. All right, nothing wrong with that. If there's a tool to help you get your transactions unstuck in the mempool and get it confirmed, you simply put in your transaction ID, and then I guess you just verify this CAPTCHA and submit it, and it's free. It's free. So I guess you have to have 10,000 Satoshis as a fee, which I think a lot of people are. But the problem is if you flood their transaction accelerator, it doesn't do any good than what you are doing right now with the mempool. So, but it's worth talking about. Okay, I'll leave it to that. All right, so finally, here we go. UK threatens to shut down popular Bitcoin investment site, BitConnect. All right, this is coming from TNW here. I have the link to it in the notes section. So it really talks about it. They've done a lot of work and they have a lot of information here. They actually have this image below, which is the letter to BitConnect, and it says here, Companies Act 2006, Section 1003. The Register of Companies gives notice that unless cause is shown to the contrary, at the expiration of 2 months from the above date and time and name, BitConnect will be struck off, BitConnect Ltd. will be struck off the register and the company will be dissolved. Upon dissolution, and rights vested in or held in trust for the company are deemed to be bona vacanita and accordingly will belong to the crown. So they got this letter trying to say, prove that you actually are a business, and you know, if you can't, we're going to seize everything. The problem is, I think they won't seize anything. There's nothing there. And then if you keep reading on this, I mean, they have some names here of people like Ken Fitzsimmons. So apparently, Ken Fitzsimmons owns BitConnect Ltd. Or something like that. Problem is, nobody knows who Ken Fitzsimmons is, right? The birth dates are kind of weird. There's 2 different birth dates. There's addresses are the same of 2 same people with different birth dates. Very strange how all this is starting to come up. Here's the infamous BitConnect. You know, here's that infamous video that everyone just loves to laugh at. Just hilarious. What else are they talking about? There's a lot of people who are saying, I mean, this is the tweet from Vitalik saying if it's offering 1% a day, it's a Ponzi. I mean, people on Reddit are literally saying it's a Ponzi. Shitcoin Talk, the YouTube channel Shitcoin Talk, is making fun of BitConnect. All right, that's how ridiculous this is. There's some more stuff here. As you can tell, there's other names. BitConnect International, PLC, Bitcoin AMR Limited. Again, different names, same names, different birth dates, and just and different owners here. You can see there's documents that you could find. Different names again with different birth dates, but same addresses. All this stuff. Check out the news article. This is in the notes section. Let's see what the title of this is. UK threatens to shut down popular BitConnect investment site. So that's in the notes section. A lot of uncertain things. Unconfirmed, I'm not sure, but we'll find out soon enough. I'm sure this thing is about to collapse anytime soon. And oh my goodness, sorry for the bright light. How you doing, Flapping Plemis? Good to see you. Okay, so Sky was kind enough to share this video. Share these tweets. I'm going to go ahead and read them for you. This is about BitConnect, of course. Alan Silbert, public service announcement. If you are in BitConnect, might want to watch what you have gotten yourself into. So there you go. There's the video of BitConnect. If you love if you love a good laugh, there's that video again. So Alan Silbert, I mean, there you go. People are tweeting about this. This is hilarious. Absolute funniness. What's another one? Sorry for the bright screen again, but Omar Bam. You know who Omar Bam? Crypto with a 0 at the end. Omar Bam, the Ethereum pumper and pusher, and ICO tokenized pumper as well. He pumps a lot of that stuff. He's in with them pretty good. But even Omar Bam says, when some, oh, I don't know, maybe he means when someone asks you why BitConnect is a Ponzi slash, a scam slash Ponzi, maybe you can reference this article. And there's an article. Warning, do not invest in BitConnect. It is a Ponzi scam. So it's good to know that people are talking about this and letting everyone know. And I think I got one more. Okay, so even Andreas Antonopoulos. All right. Now, he's not willing to go on a limb because of his popularity, of course. But this is what he said on Twitter. BitConnect is advertising on my YouTube channel. I can't stop them. I've heard that, but can't confirm that BitConnect may be a pyramid scheme. Be careful out there. So you can't straight out say it, but at this point, I think we all know it is a pyramid scheme. It's a Ponzi, you know. So there you go. Even Andreas Antonopoulos is recognizing that his channel is being advertised for BitConnect, and obviously he doesn't approve of it, but he can't do anything about it. But at least he's tweeting it out, letting everyone know, and of course everybody does know. You've got to be, you have to be involved in BitConnect to be blind, willfully blind to all of this, or you're just literally stupid, or somehow you're involved with BitConnect and you refuse to call it a scam. Utter nonsense. Yellow Fever says, people investing in BitConnect breaking up to 7 federal laws by putting your money into it. Only 7? Man, if they did 10, I'm sure they would change their minds. You know, that is kind of funny, Skyve. The irony of Craig Grant's BitConnect videos is the reason for BitConnect getting all this negative attention, and that's the reason why they're not getting new investors, and that's probably why they're collapsing, you know, because maybe we should all thank Craig Grant for putting up those, you know, BitConnect videos on our YouTube channels, because everybody hates watching them. Everybody, I mean, I hate what Andres Antonopoulos even hates watching them. And here's Craig Grant telling everybody how he earned all this Bitcoin, you know, by using BitConnect, and all of a sudden everyone's like disliking, you know, everyone hates watching that. Oh, everyone's tired of getting, you know, sold like a used car salesperson would try to sell you a used car, and they're telling you it's brand new or it's like new. That's what it's like. Anyways, let's go on here. Let's see what else I have. A very bright screen, apparently. All right, so here's an article from CoinDesk. Dual overhead camness. Who buys BitConnect coins? Well, apparently Craig Grant. Craig Grant buys BitConnect coins, and his, I don't know if that's his girlfriend or whatever, Juliana. Apparently she buys BitConnect coins as well, and then goes out to Gucci because she likes Gucci. You know what's funny? You know, I'm watching these videos. I'm watching everyone's video, right? And my youngest daughter, my oldest daughter, is listening to Juliana talk about BitConnect and how she loves Gucci and likes to go out and buy Gucci. And she also listens to all these other YouTubers, you know, their intro and their exit extro, whatever you call it. And she's young, you know, she's a teenager now, and she like tells me her brutal honesty about some of these YouTubers and how lame they sound. And when I ask her, like, so you think they're like trying to be a wannabe, and they're like trying to portray themselves as something, but they're not. And she even sees right through that. And she's just a teenager. You know, teenagers, they're pretty sharp. They're the young kids. They're sharp. And so if she sees right through all this, and through some of the YouTubers out there, it amazes me that some of these YouTubers actually think they're getting away with all this nonsense. But let me get back to this here. So, well, Morgan Stanley predicts 2018 plunge in GPU mining sales. Now, Morgan Stanley may not know anything about GPU mining or the cryptocurrency space, but they know something about the companies, right? AMD, NVIDIA, they know something about them, right? Morgan Stanley invests money into these companies. So when they do their analysis, right, when they look at the books and then they look at the markets in which, you know, NVIDIA and AMD are engaged in, and they're looking at those markets, they're looking at cryptocurrencies in general, because a lot of the boost in sales from GPU mining rigs have come from the increased price of altcoins. So if these people are putting money into these companies, and this is what they're saying, so I wouldn't disregard that. You know, these financial companies make their living doing this. So don't just disregard this. There's something to it, and this is not my first time I've talked about this. AMD themselves have come out and said that they will be that the sales will be flat or even lower. Morgan Stanley actually predicts that AMD will actually have will plunge. Their sales in GPU mining will be plunging, and so this may not be good news for altcoins or even GPU mining. I think a lot of the mining out there right now is not profitable. Matter of fact, they even talk about it. Let me see right here. Okay, so right here, they even talk about it. Joseph Moore, I'll just read this right here. Joseph Moore, according to the coverage from Barron's and Benzinga, suggested in a new report published this week that a mixture of network upgrades, including a decline in the overall block reward on the Ethereum network from 5 Ethereum to 3 Ethereum per block, would have a tangible impact on miners who engage in an energy-intensive process to create new transaction blocks. So, you know, there's some truth behind this. Okay, don't totally disregard this. They even said in the report here that they expect the gamers, all right, for GPU cards for gaming to also decline. So they think the overall GPU cards are going to be in decline in sales. So it's not just cryptocurrency. So this is a trend, an overall trend. Let me read this part right here. So it says here, we believe that total graphic sales for Ethereum mining in 2017 will be 800 million or so, and will decline by 50% in 2018. We can validate the 2017 number by looking at the increased complexity of the algorithm. Unless Ethereum price rally, downside variance to our 2018 forecast is more likely than upside. So there's some bad news for Ethereum, that perhaps the price of Ethereum will be declining. All right. So just information, take it for what it's worth. Having an outside source that's independent of this cryptocurrency space, that looks at this space and comes up with an analysis, don't disregard that, okay? Take it in with some consideration. All right, so that's that there. And let me go on to the next one here, and let me see if I can just cut this out. Maybe you make it faster, or maybe it won't. Okay, so here's the other article here. How you doing, free Skillshare media? No one makes computer for game. You know, gamers don't go on and make desktops anymore. You're right. A lot of it's through the Xbox and the PS4, and some of those actually do just as good or even better for the price. All right, it says here. Let me see here. China. China Bitcoin crackdown to extend to low-cost mining ban report. So here's the first report that I saw earlier today, and that a lot of YouTubers came out. Man, they came out and they were talking about the possible ban of mining farms because there seems to be some kind of note that's circulating in China that power companies should refrain from supplying electricity to mining farms, to Bitcoin mining farms. Now, I don't know how true this is. It came all of a sudden. The notice that I saw was dated November 3rd. Now, I'm wondering, could this contribute to the fact that SegWit 2x was canceled? Was this the reason why SegWit 2x was canceled? Because there wasn't enough hashing power that could have spun off and created a hard fork? Because the timing of it's very unusual. And you know, the second thing is how much of this is real and how much of this is fake? Because the timing is just there's a lot of coincidence here. The fact that SegWit was canceled, SegWit 2x was canceled. There was an attack on the legacy chain by Bitcoin Cash. And then the disappearance of 20%, at least 20% of the hashing power from the Bitcoin network and from the Bitcoin Cash network. If you add those two up, it's less than what it was before. So I don't know if there's a ban or if there's a secret plot to secretly do a hard fork for SegWit 2x, and all this is just a ruse. I'm not too sure. Hey, good night, Sky. Thanks for sharing the tweets. Appreciate it. Because on the next thing here, let me see if I can just close this here. And I'll close this one too. Maybe that'll speed up the downloads here. Okay, Chinese power provider denies Bitcoin mining ban. So here's the other thing is, this came out a little bit later, but now you got two conflicting reports. So when you have two conflicting reports, which one is real and which one is fake? You know, the fact that there's two conflicting reports, they may cancel each other out. So I'm not sure what to believe because the timing of this whole situation around November, it's just too coincidental, and I can only just wait. It is information that I can take in, and I'll have to come up with different scenarios. Like if there really is a ban, then that would explain the reduction in hashing power. of the overall network. So that could explain that, because apparently not everyone is being banned from electricity. It seems to be in a very specific location with hydropower, with the dams, the hydroelectricity being generated in a very specific area in China. So you can get very cheap electricity there. Other than that, I'm hearing rumors that they're going abroad, they're going different places, they shut off their miners because it's not profitable. And some people are saying this is good because that will decentralize mining again. That will level the playing field. But I'm not too sure if that really does, because apparently Antpool via BTC and Bitcoin Top seem to have no problem getting power, and they seem to be getting it at a very cheap price. So if anything, it's made it more centralized in China, at least. Very more centralized in China, if this is true, where the concentration of mining power is now to the 3 largest mining companies in China, instead of many possible mining farms. Although they may have gotten their mining rigs from the same place, but the fact that now there's less independent mining farms out there, I would say it's even more concentrated in China. So anyways, let me see what else is there. I did want to share with this here. Okay, so here is BitInfo charts. Wait a minute, before I go into that, let's take a look at the SegWit addresses. Look at the SegWit addresses first. All right. All right, so here is the chart of SegWit address. It has been going up. I think 12% is around, just above 12% is its highest, but it's also dipped down to 10% and just swinging up and forth. It almost seems to like, I'm not sure what it's doing. It's not going up nor down. It's just fluctuating. Nothing is happening. So I finally went over a SegWit chart. All right, excellent. All right, so here is the hashing rate for Bitcoin. It says here, right here, you'll see it, Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. Here's the most recent end of the day hashing rate. So it has increased. The total comes out to 10.6 hashing rate for both the networks. I'm just using 10.6. I don't know if it means like terahashes or whatever, but 10.6 is the total hashing rate. Just about 10.6. I'm just using I'm not getting too much in the digits here, but 10.6. Now, if you consider the total right before the hard fork, which was November 8th, you're looking at, let me see here, 12.3. So the total hashing rate is 12.3. Hey, how you doing, Katrina? Or Katriana Holiday? So if you look at the total hashing rate on November the 8th, it was 12.3. Okay. Now is Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin, the total amount hashing rate. Now, if you look right now, obviously a lot of the hashing rate has continued to return to Bitcoin. There's some increase in Bitcoin Cash compared to yesterday, but not a lot. As a matter of fact, Bitcoin has increased as well. So you should probably see the transactions in the mempool go down. But if you take the total, that is 10.6. versus 12.3. So let me figure out what the percentage of that is. Let me see. 12.3 divided by 10.6. Or I'm sorry, 10.6 divided by 12.3 minus 100 or minus 1. Is that right? So there is about a 13% difference. 13% difference. I was a little bit off. So there's only an 86% of the hashing rate that came back. So that's kind of interesting. So there is a 13% difference in reduction in the overall total hashing rate. So there is some hashing power missing here. So if I look at that and I look at the reports of the miners not getting power supply from the hydro plants, there could be some truth to it. And this may be also the reason why SegWit 2x might have been called off. There might be also a small chance that this is all a ruse and that there are miners that are offline and there will be a sneak attack of SegWit 2x hard fork being launched and they'll be turned on either tomorrow or the 16th. We'll soon see. So I would just keep an eye on the hashing rate and see what's going on. If there's all of a sudden a reduction in hashing and maybe even block times. Let's go over the block times real quick. I want to go over that as well. Well, first of all, let's go over the difficulty. And you see that the difficulty, the Bitcoin Cash difficulty has implemented their new EDA. So what you're seeing here, let me see here. Sorry about that. There we go. So the difficulty for Bitcoin has slightly come down, considering that 50% of the hashing power was taken out during the Bitcoin Cash pump. It has gone down slightly overall. They'll have to wait another 2016 blocks. Bitcoin Cash, however, they just implemented their new difficulty. They did a hard fork, but if you notice that they're already decreasing in difficulty, so their average block time is much shorter. They have a shorter block time adjustment still, and this is just the first day. It's already reduced downwards, so we can see that right away. I'm sure they want to keep it very low to pull in a lot of miners. That'll be interesting to see. Now I'm going to take a look at the mining profitability. Because right now, this is what's going to cause the most disruption in Bitcoin, is how profitable and difficult it would be to mine on Bitcoin Cash, because that's the reason why the mempool is being built up so high, because the hashing power gets reduced. So right now, as of today or tonight, the profitability of Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash is about even. It's Bitcoin has slight more profitability, and that's probably why you're seeing a slight, probably going to be a slight decrease. But right now it's even, neck and neck, and I think that it's probably going to stay that way. It's going to be neck and neck, and hopefully the new algorithm of Bitcoin Cash will allow it to do that. It's going to be neck and neck. So miners are going to have to choose which chain they're going to mine. And so I have a sneaky suspicion that from this point on, that Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin will pretty much be very close in profitability, very close. Yeah, Bitcoin difficulty really does move a lot faster than Bitcoin. That may be their slight advantage. Um, let's look at the block time. So right now, since their mining profitability is about the same, you'll notice that the time is also about the same. It's about 10 minutes, very close to 10 minutes. Bitcoin has about 11 minutes, so it will take slightly longer for them to readjust on their block, on their difficulty, but it's very, very close. And I think that's by design. I think the hard fork of Bitcoin Cash is by design to try to keep pace with Bitcoin, but also make it a lot more smoother to entice miners to come onto the Bitcoin Cash blockchain and mine for Bitcoin Cash. Let's have a look at the average transaction fee. And that's going to be the biggest difference that you're going to see here. That is the biggest difference. Okay, so right now, the average transaction fee is about $15 for Bitcoin, while the average transaction fee for Bitcoin Cash is about 42 cents. But if you look at the transaction fees, they correlate highly with the amount of transactions on each blockchain. So let's take a look at the transaction on each blockchain. And you'll see there's a correlation, a very, very high correlation of fees, how much the fees cost, and the transactions. And there's a reason. The simple reason is there's more people using Bitcoin than there are people using Bitcoin Cash. So 271 transactions were mined. Those are mined transactions on Bitcoin versus 24,000 on Bitcoin Cash. If you see that, it looks like they both gone down, but Bitcoin Cash has gone down tremendously. Bitcoin transactions seem to be in a range of 200,000 transactions to 350. So there's a range that you can see here that is normal. Bitcoin Cash, that abnormality, that spike at the very end where they had 70,000 transactions, that was abnormal. So you can see the fluctuations here. If anything, if you look at the red graph here, you'll see that Bitcoin Cash has very, very low transactions. Like look how 18, 13,000, 10,000, 7,000, very, very low transactions until recently, and I think that's manipulation. And now it's everything's kind of evening out. So different story, totally different. So definitely there's something going on here. All right. So let me get back to this. So let's go over the fees on Bitcoin. All right. So here's the fees, bitcoinfees.earn.com. And you can see, oh my goodness. You can see these are still probably the stuck confirmations. The unconfirmed confirmations are all right here. They're ranging from 100 Satoshis to 1 to 10 Satoshis all the way to 100 Satoshis. So if you have 1 to 100 Satoshis, there's a good chance that your transactions will be stuck for a very, very long time. Anything from 110 right now looks like it's getting are going through, and this is all lagging though. So this is all the transactions that have gone through, and now the mempool is probably working on all of these right here. We're working on all these transactions. They're going to be slowly eaten up unless there's more spam coming in. Igor Goldabin, how you doing? What's up? So it's definitely widening here. So you could have a, I wouldn't overpay right now, but let me look at the mempool. But let's see what the recommended is. Wow. A lot of people are still paying 700 to 900. That's what that was recommended. So this would make sense. But as you see right now, there's barely nothing in the mempool, but a lot of transactions in the past 24 hours regarding this. So where's the next green? Where's the green? There you go, 720. Let me see. So 720 Satoshis per byte is the recommended fee, which is 162,720 Satoshis for a regular 226 bytes, which is basically two inputs. No, yeah, two inputs, one output. Hey, Surgency, how you doing? I'm glad you made it. But right now, it looks like you can be anywhere between, let's see here, something you don't want to overpay, but anything a 100 Satoshis and up should 100 Satoshis to, let's see where it peaks out, to 300 Satoshis to 310 Satoshis. In between 300 to 300 Satoshis, it'll take a while, but if you're, you know, if you want the lowest fee amount, that will get into the chain sooner than later. Anything above 300 should get in just fine, it looks like. I'll have to take a look at the mempool. If you're really, really in a hurry, anything above 700 Satoshis per byte will probably definitely get you into the next block. So let's take a look at the actual mempool now. Are your transactions going through now? Yellow fever for you? Igor Goldabin, when are you going to show your face? You're asking me, when am I going to show my face? Well, if you're talking about on YouTube, probably never. My channel is in a first person point of view, from looking inside to out. I'm just giving you what I'm seeing, and you're sharing that experience as an outside observer, and that's what you're essentially seeing. Wow. So I don't really show my face in that way, because I think it takes away from the content. Sometimes a lot of people like to idolize, YouTubers. They don't even care for the content. They just like to watch the YouTubers, which I think is a little silly, but I'm just here to provide some valuable information and content for the audience members. So it looks like the transactions are going down. Last time I checked, it was at least 30, above 30,000. Now it's below 30,000. So it's finally getting in there, and you can see in the transaction right here, the fee size. You can see it's normal. You're getting like 400 Satoshis per byte. You're getting 100, 200, 100. Sometimes you see 700 or 800 because people are trying to get into the next block. There's a 3 Satoshi transaction going through finally, 40 Satoshi transaction fee. So it's finally going through the lower fees. So the mempool is finally being, the transactions are finally getting to the lower transaction fees. So you're seeing some of the lower transaction fees starting to show up. There's one that's 3,000 Satoshis per byte. So 1,000 Satoshi, 1,500 Satoshis per byte. So you're seeing some of the high ones go in there. Those are probably the recent ones. People who are really paranoid and getting it through. There's some 100 Satoshis, 300 Satoshis. So the lower ones are starting to get eaten up through the blockchain and getting into the blocks. Hey, Crypto Cartel, welcome to the channel. And so there you go. And it looks like it's being slowly worked through. What I'm a little disappointed is everyone's still under 1 meg blocks, even though they can obviously go beyond the 1 meg, the 1 megabyte. They can easily go through this a little faster if the miners are just willing to do so. But for whatever reason, they're not. I'm not too sure if there is some like evil, nefarious plan. Like a lot of people talk about how Blockstream is controlled by AXA, which wants these blocks to be full to do second and third layer, and then have a whole business model on a second and third layer kind of thing. I'm not sure if that's really true, but it does seem very suspicious that there's technology that's available through the soft fork of SegWit that allows these block size to go over the 1 megabyte limit, and I have not seen any so far. They all remain within under the 1 megabyte block size. So okay, so the fees are coming down. It's better than what it was, which was almost at 100,000 transactions in the mempool. Hopefully it can come down to a reasonable level and we can see the price go back up, which I will go over a chart analysis here now. So let's see your transaction, Yellow. I want to see your transaction here, see if it actually went through. Let's see if this actually went through yet. Oh, look at that. So your transaction went through, Yellow Fever. This one still is unconfirmed. So you put 20,000 Satoshis. So yours was 100 Satoshis per byte, and it went through. So yeah, all right. So if you do about 100 Satoshis per byte, what did that take? About 40 minutes or 1 hour? So you had to wait. Well, if it had 2 confirmation, it was probably just 40 minutes. I know I've been talking for a while here, at least what, an hour and a half. So it was probably, at least an hour to an hour and a half. You got your confirmation through on 100 Satoshis per byte right now. So if you do about 100 Satoshis per byte, which is about $1.50 on the transaction fee, it should take about an hour to an hour and a half at least. So I'm going to be waiting for this one. It probably still has to go through a lot through the mempool before it gets to this transaction here, the one that's unconfirmed. But it's getting through. It's working its way. All right, let's see what the price is. Oh, nice. Look at that. Where are we at? $6,849.79. We're up a good deal. That's good. I like that. So it looks like the average, this average here, this moving average, is holding up really well. Hopefully it'll continue to go up. So let's draw that line like I always do to give an idea of what's going on. All right, so it's really hitting up against that top trend line here. It just peeped right above it. It's not breaking yet. It looks like there is resistance right here, as you can see. You can see it's reacting to it. I mean, there's no question about it that it's reacting to that top trend line. And that's kind of looks like that's the resistance. So let's put in some other lines here. I'll put that line in here. Oh, as a support area. Let's put a line in here, and then put a line down in here. And then I'm going to put the high, all-time high in here, and let's zoom in to 1 and 1 hour and see what we get. All right, so that's what you're looking at a 1 hour. I'm pulling back as much as I can, and it's definitely broken through slightly. You can see on the 1 hour the RSI has reached 70. It doesn't mean that's going to stop there. I mean, it can wiggle around there and still go up. It can also pull back to 50 and then shoot up again. We'll have to see. But if it can go above that middle trend line right here, this is where the top trend line is on that channel that I drew. If it can go break above that, which it looks like it did. Let me see, it was 69.15 and 60 cent is, I guess, the day high or intraday high. And it looks like it's really resting right there. It looks good. It's a start. It's not the end. It's not the beginning. But it can easily, fall back down. It could easily fall back down here as well. It can come back down or some middle point. I have to pull out. But it does have to break this. It does have to break this all-time high to confirm the unicorn market or the bull market. So let's go to a 12-hour. Yeah, the 12-hour starting to look good. It's really pushing up on this. If you see, look at this average, the 10-period moving average right here. It's starting to really ride up on it, and it's above the longer-term average. This average line right here. It's the price is above both those averages, which look good. If this can cross back over, that'd be awesome. And if the price can go above this line, above this top channel trend line, that's very good. That's very good. That would kind of indicate to me that it's going to push up higher, and hopefully it will break through this 7,888. Hopefully it'll break through that, and then if it breaks through that, my goodness, we're going to go crazy. We're going to be bonkers. I don't know what's going to happen. But let's do the 1 day now. Oh, the 1 day looks awesome. The 1 day, the two average lines never crossed over each other. And it looks like the price, this candlestick right here, you zoom in, it's now above the short-term average. Up there, I'm pretty sure it's just going to break through. It's just literally, it's just right there. I don't see why it wouldn't. On the 1 day, the average, the RSI can easily continue to go up and hit the 70. RSI can go all the way up to 70, and that can easily push the price very close to all-time high, very close. This is on the 1 day. So on the 1 day, it looks pretty good. If you just look at the whole thing, it's still trending upwards. Looks like it's made a correction, and now it's pushing up higher. This is a 3 day. I think the 3 day is probably the most accurate of all the charts as far as correlation between the candlesticks and the moving averages. And as you can see, there was a gap right here, and it filled that gap and actually touched down to here, almost touched down to the moving average, to the longer term moving average, and then bounced back up and Now the candlestick right now, and we have to wait until the candlestick is confirmed. Well, thank you, Andre Barnwell. Hopefully you'll get home very safely. Have a good night. And so this here is not completed. It's not confirmed, but if it stays as a green candlestick, that's good because it's above this moving average. It looks like it is reacting to this top trend line here. And if it can push higher and then make another candlestick above it, we're back in the race to make all-time highs. There's a really good chance that an all-time high could be made. And even though the price has gone down only this far, or the RSI has only gone down this far, when you're in a bull market or you're in a unicorn market or that you're in some market where you're reaching all-time highs, it could just wiggle around this top area and continue to just make ridiculous new highs. I mean, I'll give you an example. Like just look at this. If it all it has to do is just hit up here, here. I mean, just it doesn't have to go bananas, but it just has to just go up here and just keep hitting and wiggling around in the 70s or above and on the RSI, and you'll just keep making new highs. And it doesn't make sense, but when you're on an uptrend, that's what the RSI looks like. It looks really choppy, hitting up on the 70 line, getting up to 70 and above, and it'll just continuously make new highs all the time. And so on the 3 days, probably what you want to look at. Let me see. Look at the 1 week, and the 1 week here is it looks it's still uptrending. All the moving averages seem to be pointing up. Let me if you pull. Let me see if I can pull back, not too much, but it still looks very good. The fact that this green candlestick is hitting this top trend line, which is this top trend line right here. Is this top trend line here? That's good. I think that's good. If it can break above it and higher, that'd be even better. The fact that it pierced through, it did pierce through and make an all-time of 7,888. I would expect that to be natural. If it pierces a top trending line and then comes back, it could try to push back above it again. I mean, that's what the market is telling me. That's what this chart is telling me. And the fact that the price has gone back up, it seems like the market wants the price to go back up. And it's just a question of how many short squeeze we get. You can't see anything? Hold on. Oh, sorry, man. Let me share screen. It won't let me share screen anymore. Sorry about that. Sorry, guys, it won't let me share screen. Black market chart. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. It won't let me share screen anymore. I guess it doesn't want me to share with all of you guys. Let me see. How about this one? Nope. I'm going to try one more time. Sorry if you can't see it, because I thought it was some good stuff on there. Yeah, my Windows. Well, I apologize. I guess I'm going to have to end it. Hopefully you saw enough of the chart analysis. Hopefully you saw enough of the chart analysis to get a good idea that um, the price looks good. It still looks like it's uptrending, and that it's going to go up higher. And so, you know, if you're hodling, keep hodling, and you know, don't try to sell all your bitcoins at once. Yeah, I'm using Windows XP. Anyways, if you have any more questions for me, or you want me to talk about anything, go ahead and let me know in the live stream or in the live chat. I won't be able to share my screen, unfortunately. So that kind of sucks, because I wanted to exit with my meme. I'll try one more time to share my screen. Nope. Yeah, if I use Windows 98, search and see. Oh my goodness. Yeah, maybe I should use Windows 98, an older version, right? Okay. Well, anyways, I'm gonna probably conclude this episode if my screen is not working. I apologize. I can't share screens, but anyways, I will conclude this episode. Feel free to like, dislike, leave a comment, or leave a comment after the live stream, or even do a video response. Until next time, everyone, stay tuned now. Bye.